Hello, Mississippi Dukes. This is the Mississippi King welcoming y'all back to more Let's Play Mega Man 7. And in this video, we're actually going to cover some things that I missed or just forgot to cover in the actual LP. So this is the extra video of Let's Play Mega Man 7. So I want to go over some things that I didn't include, either due to idiocy or just because I didn't feel like including them. So, first up, Spring Man. Now, in the actual LP, I didn't really show this off because, I was aware of this, but I didn't really feel like it was the place to show this. If you shoot Spring Man with the Thunderbolt, then he'll actually become magnetic and pull you in. That's pretty clever, actually, and it's kind of interesting. That's really all to it. Next up is, you-know-who. Shade Man, that is. And I'm actually going to fight him with his weakness because I didn't actually fight him with his weakness because I wanted to save that for the final boss. And plus I didn't really fight him with his weakness the first time. And next up is Cloudman's stage. Because this is actually what happens when he shows up. If you tackle Cloudman first and you don't get the freeze cracker, then these are what the invisible platforms will look like. There's a spotlight on them and they appear clear. Next up is you-know-who's stage, the other one. It's Freeze Man's stage. I can't believe I ignored this in the original LP and how I missed this, but yeah, you can actually dig here with Rush Search in order to find the exit thing. And basically what that does is it helps you exit stages, if you've beaten them, and that's interesting. But these are what the platforms look like for Cloudman in his stage when you make it rain by just shooting the weather things regularly. And since I'm here, I may as well start showing off some other things that I missed. And those are the bolts, the large bolts. Because, you can actually find them if you use Rush Search in particular locations, and there's one here in Cloudman's stage. And these things give you a ton of bolts, 100 to be exact. And that's quite a lot, so you'll want to keep an eye out for them. I didn't really feel like it was necessary to show them because it's I don't even really use the shop that much, but if you want to use it, then, these are the locations you can look in order to find them. And in Junkman's stage, there's another one. You can also use the exit thing to leave the stages whenever you beat them, so that's worth keeping in mind. And there's another one in Turbo Man's stage. So you can find so many if you know where to look, so it's you can easily rack up the bolts if you know where to dig. But it's how are you gonna find them? You just sort of have to know that they're there beforehand. So it's good luck. You can't find them, at all. Rush Search isn't that useful for, pinpointing their locations. And in Springman's stage, there are actually two interesting things. One is the big energy thing, and this thing restores all of your health. Yes, all of it. No matter how low it is. And there's also another bolt, another giant bolt. So it's like you can really rack up them bolts. So it's worth keeping in mind their locations if you find the shop to be useful. If you find it to be as useful as I find it to be useless. Okay. And since I'm here, I may as well show off the rest of Springman's stage without the super adapter, because I falsely claimed that you need the Rush super adapter to get the Hyperbolt. That is not true. What I said was completely false. Do not listen to me, and I am going to prove it.
I may as well speed this up, since, you've already seen most of it. But still, you can in fact get the Hyperbolt without Rush's super adapter. And this is how you do it. Well, I mean, I don't even think you really need Rush Jet, although I could be mistaken on that. It looks like you don't. But here you go, there's the Hyperbolt. And so let's continue along the stage. I'll also try to get to this energy tank. And, I should be able to get it with the use of Rush Coil or Rush Jet. However, I seem to be having difficulties. I don't normally play this stage without the super adapter. I just find it to be much more fun and engaging with the super adapter. So that's why I do that. But yes, as you can see, I have not used the super adapter at all. And here's another, what's it called? Cookie Joe? Whatever they're called.
But anyway, next up is Shade Man again. If you hold the fire button, I believe, while selecting his stage, this is what happens. The theme changes. And you get to listen to the Ghosts and Goblins music. Ain't that cool? I've never actually played Ghosts and Goblins or any of the Ghouls and Ghosts games, so I wouldn't really know. But apparently this music is from one of them. So that's kinda neat if you played it, but, I haven't. So I'm kind of out of the loop. But I may as well show off some of the weapons that I didn't show off that much, like the, what's it called, the Burning Wheel? No, the Scorch Wheel, I'm thinking of the Japanese version. And also the Wild Coil, which is pretty useless. Both are kinda useless. I mean, they're good against bosses that are weak to them, but other than that, I don't find them to be that useful. And here's yet another bolt. You can use Rush Search right here to get another giant bolt. So yeah, there are a lot of them. And it's worth keeping in mind where they all are, because these things give tons of bolts. And if you enter the Proto Man room without ever actually talking to him, you can find it to be empty without, looking for him in the two other stages. But next up is how the shop looks before you get the Hyperbolt.
Welcome to Big Eddie's. I'm Otto, Dr. Light's #1 student. Unfortunately, I've lost one of my bolts, and so I have a couple of screws loose. If you find my Hyperbolt, I would appreciate it if you bring it back here. Anyway, I'll try my hardest. I'll make items out of any other bolts you may find.
And so, Otto's inventory is noticeably more limited than it would be without it. You can't get the special tanks, but you can get weapon tanks and beat calls if you find beat. And you can also find some 1-ups in the exit thing. However, since I already have that, it's not really needed. That's really all for the shop, though. And next up is in Turbo Man's stage. There's this secret passage right here that leads to, well, a fight with one of them truck thingies. And you can actually use the noise crush, and he'll actually, like, cover his ears. That's really neat. That's a clever little addition. Not much to that, but that's really all that I have for Turbo Man's stage, at least at the moment. But next up, I'm actually going to be tackling the Willy platforming stages without using the Rush Super Adapter or, like, Rush Jet, because I am going to prove that it's not that hard, which, you know, isn't much of a thing to prove, but whatever. See, it's not that hard. Pretty easy, actually. And here's the next room. Unfortunately, like, I won't have to show off a whole lot of it, just some. But there's not much I can really say about this. I mean, what exactly do you expect? This is where I go through some platforming challenges. And next up is Base, with his weakness, well, with the weapon that's his weakness, the Thunderbolt, or whatnot. I think the Noise Crush works just as well against a Super Base, but yeah, he's pretty easy if you get the hang of it, because it's like the first time playing against him, he was kinda tricky. I'll admit I struggled quite a bit against him my first time playing, but my second time, he's gotten a whole lot easier. You just gotta get used to his pattern and find a way to trick his homing on. But there's not a whole lot to it. You just sort of keep spamming the Thunderbolt, and he'll go down pretty easily. I mean, I don't know what I forgot to say, like, I'm running out of good commentary. I don't know what I can say, folks. Can I keep this interesting? But, like, seriously? I mean, what do people expect? And I also died. So that's embarrassing, but yeah, the Noise Crush should work well against Super Base as well. It's kind of funny, Base pretended to be, like, weak against, like, he pretended that he couldn't face off against Shade Man. Funny enough, his weakness is the Noise Crush. So, yeah, that's kind of funny. But beyond, after we defeat Base, then I will show off the coming platforming challenge of the Willy stage whatever. It's pretty easy without the Super Adapter as well, but you'll want to watch out for the fire. That's no good. And isn't this Willy 3? Whatever, I don't care, I lost, it's Willy 1. No, it's Willy 2, actually. What am I saying? Don't listen to me! But yeah, this platforming is pretty easy. You just gotta be patient and wait for the right opportunity to go through things, and you may want to use Rush Coil for this part. You may have to use Rush Coil if you ain't got the super adapter. But yeah, this is how you do it. Or, I guess not. I'm not quite sure. But this stage is pretty simple. I mean, to be clear, this game is not as easy as Mega Man 6, but it's still pretty easy. Actually, you know what? I don't even think you need to use Rush Coil, because, like, you can just use the freeze cracker to freeze these flame things. I don't know why I didn't, like, think to do that, but yeah, like, since this is an extra video, it's post-commentary. Just cause it makes more sense that way. It's like, I don't want to have to, like, record a commentary over everything live. That'd be annoying. And there's another platforming challenge that should be pretty short, and I don't think I'll need to go over much of how you do it. You don't even need Rush Coil for that. And next up, we're actually going to be showing off the various tanks. You can, of course, use energy tanks to refill all of your life, but weapon tanks refill all of your weapon energy, and the special tank refills both. So, yeah, that's kind of neat, but, well, I mean, that's all. But last up, or second to last up, or third to last up, we're actually going to be tackling Slash Man's stage without the super adapter, or the relevant parts, that is. Because it's also fairly easy, but you may want to watch your step. It's funny that, like, that's in the Japanese version for Cloudman's stage, they warn you watch your step, and if anything, I think it's more of an apt warning for this stage. Because, yeah, this place has tons of bottomless pits and spikes. Again, I don't get why people seem to think that spikes automatically make a game hard. Like, people say that, like, they seem to think that, like, Mega Man 4 is hard, because in Mega Man 4, you get, like, tons of spikes. It's like, I don't agree. Like, you can put spikes everywhere, but it's like, if there's not a risk of running into them, I don't see how that's hard. It's not a hard game, folks. Mega Man 4 is one of the easiest in the series, I find. But, yeah, if we get through a Slash Man stage, then, well, that's good! Next up are the passwords. Or rather, one password, that is. Now, if y'all weren't paying attention to the last video, then this password should look very familiar. And that's because it's the one that we saw at the end of the game. The one that they gave us to unlock something. And basically what this does is that if you just hit the button, and if you just, like, select it, then you can get to the final stage with 999 volts, all energy tanks, well, max energy tanks, max weapon tanks, a special tank, and, like, everything else. So that's really neat, but the other neat thing is that if you hold L and R, for, like, whichever the quick select buttons are, then you can actually access a versus mode. where you get to face off against Mega Man or Base. And so that's kind of neat. However, I have not got a second controller to actually play that, so yeah, we're kinda screwed out of that. Besides, that's not even my forte. That is Forte's forte. There are some passwords that actually help you unlock all 8 Robot Masters at the start of the game. However, I have not had any luck getting them to work, so that kinda sucks. Like, yeah, I'm playing the Legacy Collection 2 version, and, well, I have not been able to get any of them to work, but here they are for people to see, in case you can get them to work. Maybe they work in the Japanese version, I'm not sure. But that's almost it. However, there is one thing that I want to cover before it's all over. And that's the thing that y'all have been waiting for. Box art time! And first up, we'll tackle the American box art. And what the heck just happened? This is some post-apocalyptic crap. Like, seriously, the entire city is in ruins. What happened? Did the city experience some sort of nuclear war or something? The city does not look that destroyed in the actual game. That is just some terrifying imagery right there. But it is kind of cool. I must admit that, and let me guess, the Japanese version is just weird. Like, seriously, just, who thought it was a good idea to just say, okay, we're just gonna slam everything onto the cover and just some hodgepodge of some random, inconsistent organization where nothing is organized and everything is just put willy-nilly and no one cares to, like, give anything this order or something like that. Like, who thought that was a good idea? But I guess that's it. Mega Man 7 is complete, and our journey through it is over. So, join me next time when we tackle Mega Man 8. This is the Mississippi King, signing out.